Hello, hello. We're getting ready to go to a party. My kids and I. It's awesome having my babies home. Anyways, you're probably gonna hear me say that for the next 3 weeks, and then after that, it's gonna be like, but live in the moment, right? And this is the reminder to live in the moment. Because even when we lost power yesterday, like my son got home, that kid slept for basically 2 days. And I didn't think he would. I was like, he's a trooper. He's still a trooper because he just had his ass handed to him by the military, and they said, "Okay, you're certifiable. You are ready to go." So this is just a reminder to everyone else. Like when it gets tough, get tougher because people are going to test you a lot. Like a lot. I've been going through the fire for so long that I'm like, how am I still coal? How am I not like a diamond yet? And of course, when we question our journey becomes apparent, and it's almost like we start stumbling. We start seeing the ruts and the boulders and the mountains that we have to feel like we have to move alone. And it gets hard. But if you can live in the moment and breathe. And even when my son showed up at my work, I had a friend that he had picked him up from the airport. And I'm sitting there and he can tell I'm about to lose it. And he's like, woosah, woosah. Because that's something I say on the regular. And I was like, okay, okay. And it helped in the moment. It always helps to have that co-pilot, somebody that's like, let's do this, or calm down, or the buddy that's on the frequency of where you need them to be in the moment. You're not always going to be in the same alignment because we have lives, right? Like we have things we go through, and a lot of us don't talk about it. We don't talk about the good, which is funny. We talk about the bad more than the good. And of course, it's because we want to vent and we want to, this is why I'm like this right now, or just that anger takes over, or that frustration or that fear, whatever it is. But eventually when you focus on that so much, it leads to depression. It starts pulling you down, and then of course people don't want to be around you, and it gets harder and harder when you have to pick yourself up. But another reminder, you got you can accomplish anything that you're trying to do. And even right now, like there's things that I feel like they stall me on my path, but then I have to remind myself everything is in divine timing. Everything is happening for a reason. And as long as I can keep saying thank you for that lesson, thank you for that blessing, thank you. It doesn't matter how you do it, but you have to get to a point where you can appreciate the good times and the bad times, because even after a storm, beautiful flowers will grow. You'll hear the birds chirping. Things get greener and more alive, but we also forget that there are seasons. So, with that moment, if you're complaining about the loss of power, if you're complaining about that you don't have, you're going to focus on that, and it's going to pull you down. And it's funny because I woke up and I was like, oh, I wanted my tea. I drink my tea every morning, and I was like, I want to start my barbecue pit. We might as well grill. I don't have any charcoal. One neighbor's like, I got charcoal. And I was like, we don't have any lighter fluid. The other neighbor's like, I got lighter fluid. And all this to boil some water so I could have tea. I said, well, shoot, I guess we're grilling. So by the time it was said and done, what's about to go bad in your fridge? Might as well throw it on there. So sausage was thrown on there, hot dogs was. Everyone's pretty much saved the trash from exploding and prepared themselves stuff that they can eat on for a few days. Of course, everything I had, which wasn't much because I don't keep a lot of meat in there, was here's lunch. Just go ahead and have that. But anywho, it came down to I put the pot on the barbecue, and all of a sudden lights pop on, and I was like, power's back on. I've never seen people run like when you turn the light on and the cockroaches scurry. By the time I stepped outside, they were gone. They were in their houses like, oh, it's back to normal. I, of course, filled up my hot pot and turned that on instantly because I was like, if this goes back out, I still want to have my tea. It took me so long to even get around to that cup, and I know I'm rambling right now, but it was almost like girl put her survival skills out there, and it was like, okay, you can have it back. I'll let you have this. But I also had to get up and run errands for other people because they're elderly, and it was just a very early morning, and I already knew what was coming before I got out of bed because I slept with my window open, and I heard them talking on the porch, and I was like, they have plans for me. Oh no. But it is what it is. You know, when you can spread community and you can spread love and you can help one another, you have to remember, for one, you never know who you're talking to, and for two, you might need help someday. You don't do it because you want the help, you do it because it's the right thing to do. You know, it's like children aren't being taught anymore that good deeds don't go unnoticed, for one, but they're necessary to make love keep spinning around and around. We need love in this world, and I think a lot of people forget because everyone's afraid of love at this point. But when I look at love, I think of my grandmother. I think of the elders that gave it in such a pure essence that it was one of those things that was better than a band-aid. You know, a kiss on a boo-boo made you could be gushing blood, and it just made everything okay. You know, and of course they're not going to leave you like that because true love wouldn't leave you gushing. I guess sometimes that toxic love does, but either way it goes, we have to remember that we have to bring back what's lost. And I think a lot of times we're waiting for it to be given to us. And I read something earlier that said, when you're loving others, you are loving yourself. And I was like, I needed that reminder because I'm constantly putting it out there. And then a lot of people are like, aren't you weak and innocent? Aren't you naive? Let me take advantage. Well, then the claws come out and you're like, oh, wow, I didn't know you had that side of you. No, because I don't walk around with scorn and hate in my heart. But I do walk around with boundaries, and I will pull back to protect myself. When I'm saying the claws come out in me, I'm not cussing you out. My silence is so much louder than the words I could speak to you. And we all have to learn to stop reacting to things people want us to react to, because we do get to a point where some people are just so hurt that that's what they want to feel is normal. And I know there's no definition of normal. It's mainly what the majority does in a society is normal. It doesn't make it normal, but it makes it acceptable. And that's another hard thing to deal with. But of course, those are different life lessons we have to learn. That we are okay to be our unique selves. You know, we are okay to live outside of the box. We're okay to, bring forth something of a remnant to remind the world, hey, we're not gone and we're not forgotten. We will always be here. And the darkness can always think that they've put a lid on the light. But the one thing that's forgot when you do that, eventually, it's so strong, those holes pop out. And now all of a sudden you've got a disco ball, and it brings back the magic. You know, it brings back the, I want to be Bob. I want to enjoy life. I want to smile and laugh. I forgot how good that felt. Because a lot of people think that's child's play. Like that, only kids act like that. But when you see an adult doing it, that is the creme de la creme. That is the top of the crop. That is just the thing that makes you go, I knew you still had a spirit in you. Because it's that spirit that wants to be young and free and spread love and be happy. Mosquitoes are out. That kind of comes with the territory of the rain. But hey, everything has a purpose. I keep reminding myself that maybe these things are to remind us of how toxic we can be, what we can do to the world, how we can affect it by stagnating things. But that happens within us as well. You know, we have to remember our chakras, and we have to align, and we have to exercise those areas, because just as you may hurt, the more you sit, the more you ache. It's odd, but the more that you work and you push and you build that confidence and you build that stamina, and you're like, oh, you start feeling stronger, healthier, happier. These are the things that it seems like it would be the opposite, but that's what life is, trial and error. Of course, you can always overdo something that's good for you, and then when you do that, that's where burnout happens. That's where destruction occurs. And that's the things that we have to learn when to say enough is enough. But that's on us still. We're the captains of our ships, our vessels. How are you going to navigate this world with what you have? You know, that's something we all need to start considering, because we live a day-to-day life that is mundane instead of a drive. Like, I have a friend at work that he goes, man, it's this job that gets me up every day. And I'm like, whew, you really need to readdress your goals and your dreams and things that give you that motivation and that drive. Because if work is what's pushing you, I'm sorry. Most people don't love their job that much. I know I don't. So once you start doing what it is you love, hey, you're not working anymore, right? So on that note, I'm gonna visit with my neighbor who just walked out, and sending peace, love, and light. Bye.